Who is to blame for the current situation?
I would say the last administration is to blame. They've run down the economy. We've come to a point where we are bankrupt, which has never happened to Sri Lanka before. We have no dollars, we have no rupees.
And if the current administration is to blame, then have we seen enough punishment for them yet? Of course, the president is still in power. His brother, the prime minister, may have stepped down, but their family has essentially run the country for 2 decades. Should the president resign?
Well, that's a controversy because people at Galface, all the youths, of the view that president should resign. That's a view also held outside and by some of the political parties. On the other hand, the Bar Association of the view that the executive presidency should be abolished. They do not mention anything about the president resigning. So there are 2 different views. I have suggested that once we pass the 21st Amendment, which should restore the original 19th Amendment, strengthening Parliament, strengthening the powers of the Prime Minister, then all party leaders and the President should have a discussion and come to some arrangement on the future course.
Do you think the effects of the war in Ukraine have been felt yet in Sri Lanka, or could things get worse in the short term?
Our main concern also is that we have not had fertilizer for cultivation, and this coming season, the rice cultivation season, will not have the full production. Therefore, from about August onwards, there's a possibility of a food crisis in Sri Lanka. That's about the time that the global food crisis will also take place, and we have to see how we survive till about March next year.
And what is your message, Prime Minister, in the short term to potential international partners that could come to your aid on a week when you've had to miss interest payments due on your debt?
Well, we were in default anyway and we didn't have the money to pay. We have to acknowledge that. I feel ashamed about it, but nevertheless, this is reality. We've been engaging our partners and they've responded well. We've been engaging with the IMF, but as you know, it takes time. India has been the quickest to respond. We've had money from them, which has enabled us to carry on. But we think in the next few months, there'll be responses by the other donors.
At the moment, would you say it's safe for tourists to come and visit Sri Lanka?
Well, those who want to have an exciting time could come here, and maybe they could even take part in the demonstrations. They could hold placards which says for the president of Sri Lanka to go home, or you could hold a placard asking the prime minister of your country to go home. All that is option that's available.
Well, I mean, it's good to see you being light-hearted, but it was actually a serious question. I mean, tourism is an important part of any emerging market's income. You're not encouraging people to visit, or are you? I mean, it's a genuine question.
We are not discouraging people from visiting, but we understand with the shortage of foreign exchange and some of the demonstrations that is going on and the shortage of essentials that they may not visit Sri Lanka at this time.